Hello and welcome to today's Special Education Committee. I am Carla Griego and I am the board representative for Board District 5 and chairperson of the Special Ed Committee. As a former special education teacher, I feel very honored to be in this space with you, facilitating much needed conversations between the diverse voices that are represented on this committee. Before I continue, I want to acknowledge that there's been mass staff reductions at the federal level in the Department of Education. We heard about that last week, and we recognize that this uncertainty surrounding funding and resources, especially for special education, remains top of mind for us. However, I want you to know that LAUSD remains steadfast in our commitment to ensuring that all of our students have access to a quality education, including our students in special education. As a reminder, our goal for this committee is to make this a co-thinking space where together we can uplift the needs of our students in special education, but also come up with solutions on how we can improve the way that we serve our students. I invite our committee members to share their ideas and experiences with special education. I invite our parents to share their concerns and students' needs, and I invite our educators and paraprofessionals to share any recommendations they have about how the district can better prepare our students. As part of our series of committee meetings for this school year, we will be highlighting key updates and outcomes coming out of the Division of Special Education's Listen and Learn campaign report. For those of you who may not know, this report was published in the spring of 2025, and it summarized the key findings, highlighted successes, challenges, and opportunities for how LAUSD can improve how it supports students with disabilities. The report also outlines measures of success and action items to be executed by 2027. We have copies of that, I think, and you can also find them online and in English and Spanish. This month, October, I want to acknowledge and celebrate the diversity of needs of our communities and students. October is a time to celebrate the abilities, the contributions, and resilience of people with disabilities and neurodiverse experiences. Recognizing observances such as National Disability Employment Awareness Month, Learning Disabilities and Dyslexia Awareness Month, ADHD Awareness Month, Blind Awareness Month, World Cerebral Palsy Day, October 6th, and White Cane Safety Day on October 16th helps raise awareness, break down stigma, and promote inclusion. Together, these remembrances remind us of our collective responsibility to build communities where everyone can learn, work, and thrive with dignity and belonging. So now I'm going to open up the floor for some quick round of introductions from our committee members. If you can share your name, your title, such as parent, educator, community, labor rep, and your school affiliation, and then one word about how you're feeling in this moment. So I will begin to my left. Yes.
Didn't give me time to think about my word. No, it's okay. I'm Dr. Rivas, board member for Board District 2, and my word is just feel happy. I feel happy. Yeah, that's my one word. Yeah.
Thank you. And if you like what you hear, I used to always tell my students this, do like little happy fingers, okay? Yes.
Good afternoon. Jose Soto, Division of Special Education. My word is hopeful.
Alicia Haas, Division of Special Education. My word is inspired.
Good afternoon, Mary Kellogg on behalf of Janine Cox for the Office of General Counsel. And because Dr. Soto took my word first, I will go with opportunity.
We will move to the back.
Aló, mi nombre es María Sánchez, soy un padre de Soy un padre de un hijo de educación especial.
Of a student in
y soy en
special
una
education,
organización
and I
ACE,
am
y
in
mi escuela es
the
Malton,
ACE
pero mi
organization, and my
éxito
school
es
is Marlton. By my word is strength for all those students, and strength to overcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Tamala Davis. I'm a PSA counselor for Region West. And a word from me would be collaboration.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es María.
Good afternoon.
Durán.
My name is
Tengo-
Maria Duran, and I have a student in special education. And for me, inspiration. For me, the word is perseverance and unity.
Good afternoon. My name is Elizabeth Thomas Parker. I'm a special education assistant and also SEIU vice president. And the word I can say would be excited.
Hello, my name is Kenya Maria Pineda. I use they, them pronouns. I'm a resource teacher at Thomas Stark King Middle School, and my word would be growth.
Hello, good evening. My name is Christina Martinez. I'm a special education paraprofessional, and my word is ecstatic.
I am Amy Bogart. I'm a teacher of the deaf, and my word is elevate.
Marcia Scott, I'm a human resources specialist, and my word is grateful.
Sharita Rogers, inclusion, the West area, and my word is energized.
All right, and I'm Carla Griego, and my word is thrilled. I am thrilled to be here. Of course, I added more words. All right. Again, I want to thank you for committing, all of you here, committing your time and your energy to be a member of this committee, and for sharing all that you share with us when you are here. Before we move on to the presentation, I'd like to remind the audience that at the end of our meeting, we are going to take public comment. So I'm super thrilled and excited about today's presentations. We have students, we have parents, and we have educators presenting today. But before we go on, I just want to remind folks that the last time we were here in September, we talked about parent learning opportunities and educator PD and trainings that will be offered this school year as part of the action items outlined in the Listen and Learn campaign. That recording and slide deck is up on the Board of Education website, and if you'd like to go back and watch it, you're welcome to do so. But for today's presentation, we will hear directly from principals about special offerings found at LAUSD's Special Education Career and Transition Centers. To our committee members, we will have time for discussion at the midpoint and at the end of the presentation. So please make sure you're jotting down your questions, doing little bunny ears on your paper here. And then just as a reminder, if you have specific questions related to a student or a school site, due to privacy concerns, the Division of Special Education will be limited as to what they can answer publicly. But I do want to remind you that we do have the Special Ed Division in the back outside this room who are there to answer any questions and any concerns that you may have. And they also have a lot of documents that if you want more information, they will share with you. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and begin with our first guest speaker, who is Principal Danielle Fearson of Marlton School, and they can get us started with the presentation. Welcome.
Thank you for having us. I'm Gavin Merigliani. I am the president of SEPO, which is the Special Education Principals Organization. I am so proud to be here. Last year, I had the privilege of serving on the committee, so I know the great work that's done here. One of the schools that will be presenting is Marlton here this afternoon. Marlton is one of our special education centers, along with Salvin and Lowcrantz, and I would like to introduce Principal of Marlton.
Hi, good afternoon. Now, I'm not sure how to work this. Okay, good afternoon. I'm Dr. Frierson. I am the proud principal of Marlton School. And just to share a brief overview of the dynamics of Marlton, it does not fit the caveat of all schools that are considered centers. Marlton is special and unique within itself. It is the only deaf day school in California where students can come to school and go home every day, and it's a public school, obviously, because it's LA Unified. A lot of the other schools that are deaf schools are state schools, and they're residential. So we are special in that aspect. So we are a public preschool through 12th grade school for students that are deaf. And what's special about us is that we do have a sibling program that has siblings of deaf students can come to school from grades TK through 5th grade. And those are hearing students. And then our deaf students range from PK all the way through 12th grade. Currently, we have 132 students. The majority of our students are on core education, and the next slide will kind of explain that. So here are some of our highlights. We are a community school. We also have, and we're one of the 32 community schools. We recently received a Meaningful Teaching and Learning grant. We offer ASL classes for our families and the communities. Because we are core, our students are on A through G track. So we graduate students and they go to the university. Last year, we had students that went to CSUN. The year before that, 2 students went to RIT, Rochester Institute for Technology. And so we have college visits and we do college tours for our secondary students. Because we're a small school, we do not have sports, but we were able to have a partnership with Dorsey High School to run CIF. So we do have students that play football, run track, and I think one student is going to be playing volleyball, and we have 3 boys that are on the baseball team at Dorsey right now. Because we are a community school, we do engage our students with all of our students, hearing and deaf. We do a lot of community activities. So when you come to Marlton, you will see ASL, you will see English, you'll hear spoken language as well. So there's a variety of different languages as far as it's not only just all ASL, but the primary language at Marlton is ASL. So we do a lot of engagement with our community, and so we have a one of the pictures is the deaf-friendly kickball, so it was a silent kickball game. So it was a lot of fun. This year, every staff member is encouraged to learn sign language. So we do, like I said, we offer the ASL classes for our community as well as for the staff. And one of the things that's great is ASL is one of the primary languages, and you'll see people using their hands a lot. So I'm doing really hard trying to put my hands down and not look at the interpreter Mac to make sure he's capturing everything that I'm saying correctly. Hey Mac. So our ASL classes are offered. We have community. Every staff member this year, not every, but most staff members, they gave their inspirational words. So our community school coordinator went around and videoed everyone, and they said, "What's your inspirational word?" So they signed their word. So my word was success, and they signed what that word meant to them. And what was great is even the staff members that were new to Marlton worked really hard to learn why their word was inspirational, and so there was a QR code, and you can click on the QR code, and it gave what the word was. And it shows the pride that we have and the love of the school, access for our students, for our staff. My secondary staff, middle school through high school, out of my 7 teachers, 5 are deaf. The majority, so the students are getting instruction in first language. My preschool, my teachers are deaf because they need instruction in their first language. So we get a lot of kids that come at age 3 that are language deprived, that have never had access to any language. So a lot of our kids stay from age 3 through age 22 or age 18, depending on what track, if they're alternate curriculum or core. But it is a very loving, a very rich environment, rich in language, rich in love, and dedication. We have teachers that have been there for years, so they've watched babies come in at 3 years old, and now some of their first students are now teaching at the school. So that's what's special about Marlton, and that's what makes Marlton so great. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Dr. Fredericton. We are so proud of the work that's done at Marlton. That is just one of the special education centers that we have in LAUSD. When we're thinking about special education and special education centers and career and transition centers, during this presentation, if you could do for me just a visualization. And what I would like you to do is think about the parent that was so excited when they heard the news that they were pregnant and the child was coming. And then a few months or maybe a year or two, they went to a doctor and got a diagnosis that their child may have had a disability, and how things in their mind might have changed and paths that they thought about might have changed. So while we're presenting, think about that family, and then at the end, we'll show you what we're capable of doing. So I'd like to present on 2 of our other special education centers, Locrance and Salvin. They do a lot of different things. They are move-trained teachers, which help students that are in wheelchairs or walkers get into different standing devices so that they can get up and at eye level to interact and engage with the community and the world. They do partnerships with CSUN Music. Music is the ultimate bridge for our population to the outside community. All of the arts really connect our students to that. They have reading companion programs where they read to dogs. Working with animals is another bridge that our students are able to connect with. They have transportation heroes. They work in the cafeterias, learning job skills. They have full-time nursing. And then on all of our sites, we have California Children's Services. So in the educational model, LAUSD supports the child in the education. California Children's Services works on the medical model, providing wheelchairs, walkers, braces, all of those things as well, making it more convenient for families because their child is already at school. The parent just comes to the school site and gets the support that they need. In addition to that, they get our students ready for the world. So as you look through and see the smiling faces, at our special education centers, it is a continuum. So the IEP team makes the decision whether or not a student is eligible for the services at a special education center. For some students, it is a great opportunity for them to thrive and succeed. For others, the IEP team might decide to leave them at a general education site and have different opportunities to engage. All are appropriate based on what the IEP team decides. But looking through the slides that you see here and the faces of students that are engaged and active, they're out in the community, they're in grocery stores, they're riding the bus, learning all the job skills and work skills that they need to be successful. At our special education centers, it's the starting line. So they get there, they're getting ready and working their way through to move on. Not only are our schools a beacon for the students that go there, but they're a beacon for our communities as well. Doing projects like this, a mural project at Salvin allows the community to see all the great work that is done inside. So we're able to tell our story based on the work that we do, and the work that we do is all inclusive of students. In addition to our special education centers, we have our career and transition centers. And I'll invite Mr. Whittington to come up and introduce himself.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jamal Whittington. I'm the principal at CTC West and McBride Special Ed Center. So as Gavin said, we have our career and transition centers here. As you can see, there are 8 CTCs throughout the district. In the district's current configuration, that's 3 in the south, 3 in the north, 1 in the east, and 1 in the west. CTCs are really the foundation of LAUSD's adult transition programs. It's the ideal pathway, if you think about it this way, to kind of see where they fall into the scheme of things, is that a student would do 4 years at their high school. They're on modified core curriculum, and then after those 4 years, they could go to a CTC and receive an additional 4 years of instruction, but different instruction, which we'll talk about. They have different opportunities, different experiences at the CTCs than they would get at the high schools. CTCs focus on independence as a whole in 3 main areas: vocational skills, community travel skills, and living skills. And some of the ways that we do that include vocational strands, which there are up to 10 vocational strands that could, or maybe more at some CTCs that exist. We'll talk a little bit about those on the next slide. Work experience programs to support employment preparation, that's another key component. The off-campus satellite programs, which we'll get into more detail a little bit later, and agency linkages. So partnerships and collaboration with Regional Center and Department of Rehab are very important for us and a key component for our students, because those are really the next, the agencies that take over after they leave. That's their primary resource after they leave the CTCs. Another very important piece of CTCs is the community-based instruction. So some parents may have heard of this. If you're in special education, for sure you've heard of this. It is really the opportunity where students get to practice and generalize skills that they've learned in the classroom around independence. So it does focus on community travel, as you can see, accessing different resources in the community. When they practice in class to any kind of money skills, making change, making purchases, they go out into the community and then they actually can have the opportunity to make purchases and practice getting the correct change and all those things. Another piece that wasn't shown in the picture, but even accessing different resources in the community, like libraries, learning where the fire stations are that are nearby, police stations, things like that. Okay, so I'd like at this point to go a little bit more into the vocational strand. So what we have here is an example. This is definitely not a complete list of all the strands, but these are what we refer to as our legacy strands. These are strands that we started, pretty much every CT started with these. Most of them have expanded and added different strands throughout the years. But this is a good example of what you'll find at a CTC. Culinary arts, for the district folks, you're well aware, we do a lot of catering for different meetings and things at our CTCs. Students are learning the skills they would need to work in a professional culinary environment, a kitchen, at a restaurant. Retail focuses on the skills they would need in order to work in a retail environment, making transactions with customer service, doing inventory, are just some examples of that. Product design, and you might find different CTCs will have slightly different names for some of these, but these are just kind of general descriptions. Product design focuses on things where students are actually creating products. So there are different strands who do this in different ways, but some examples are like jewelry. We have couple of sites that, well, at least one that makes guitars. I can let them go into that a little more. That's the product design. Building and grounds is one that teaches students the skills around facilities and groundskeeping. Auto detailing, pretty self-explanatory, but there's a lot that goes into it. So students are doing the interior, the exterior, cleaning the windows, vacuuming, all the components that go with that. But also the setup of the equipment, the breakdown of the equipment is all very important. Graphic arts is another one that most of the CTCs will have, and that is one where a lot of the T-shirts and different apparel, students are learning to use heat presses to put designs on the shirts, on bags, hats, lots of different things. Skateboards, there's a lot of different examples. The hard skills that they're learning in the strands are very important, but just as important are the soft skills that they can apply to any job. So this is really the hook where they can, the students get to choose these strands, and then from there, we get them in and we teach them the skills that they need that they can apply to any job. So.
All right, so I'd like you to go back in your mind to that individual family that we were talking about and take a look at some of these photos. So in the photos we have here, we have some of our assistants, so either Mr. Curtis or Miss Jessie or Miss Anna, Miss Kim, Miss Yesenia, Miss Jenny, our teachers. Not only are they special education teachers or assistants or office staff, they are also individuals that have taken on new skill sets. So they have to master these skill sets in order to make our students competitive for employment. So in our culinary arts teams, we've catered events of 250 people at events. We have food trucks, VW Bus Replica food trucks that offer our football games, desserts. We're innovative. So we have ocean farming and ocean robotics 3 years before the City of Los Angeles college programs develop those programs. So these are not your traditional special education, what you thought of the past. We're innovative, we're active, we're supportive of our students and making them competitive. So that student that you thought of, I bet you didn't think of these kids. What we do is we take the California Tech standards and we modify them. We create safety opportunities for students to work with real tools of the trade. So as Mr. Whittington said, if it's working in landscaping, they're using weed whackers and lawnmowers and all the tools of the trade. Why? Because they need to be competitive. We don't want our students to go for a job interview and the interviewee asks them, have you had any experience? No, my mom or dad wouldn't allow me. We're going to make sure that they're safe and that they have those opportunities. We have students that are working on heat presses, creating T-shirts. We have students that are working in farms on our campuses. They're working in retail stores. We not only offer the few classes that Mr. Whittington had talked about, but we look at our communities and what our communities are doing, and we develop strand classes to support our students going into those communities and working in their home communities. All of our students learn to work together as a team. We have our students that become leaders of those teams. They learn the skills of using hand tools. They learn the skills of listening and taking feedback from their supervisors. So when they graduate and move on and they have a supervisor that says, you know what, I appreciate the work that you did, but I need you to do it this way, that they don't take it personally. It's not that the individual doesn't like them. They just need to continue the business running and it to be efficient. So we need to empower our students to take that criticism, adjust, pivot, and move on. Not only do we want our students to get jobs, but we want to maintain those jobs for life. And Mr. Whittington will talk about our PAYS Lab.
All right, so the PAYS Lab, PAYS is an acronym that stands for Practical Assessment Exploration System. And it is a class, it's a very unique class that, as you can see from the pictures, covers a wide range of entry-level job skills. And the idea there is that the students are not only getting exposed to these different activities, these different types of job skills, but they're being assessed to determine how independently they can do the task and if they liked it or not. So it's a career exploration opportunity for them, but also an opportunity to see what they're good at and what they enjoy. So that's sort of we gave this its own slide because it's not really a vocational strand. It's sort of a unique type of class. And I think, do we have a student that wants to talk at this point? No. No. Not yet.
So we'll pause here and open it up for discussion on the first half.
All right, well, thank you. So we have probably about 15 minutes for conversation, discussion, any questions that you might have for the folks who presented. This would be the time to do that. And I just want to remind everyone that some norms that I want to keep in mind: step up, step back. So if you have not spoken, and go ahead, I encourage you to speak. If you have already spoken, step back a little so others who have not spoken yet will have an opportunity to speak. And then also, if we can keep the comments and the discussion to the topic. So even if it has to do with funding along the topic that we just heard, that would be very helpful. So I will open it up for discussion or questions right now. Anybody? Okay, right here and then back there.
Hello, my name is Amy, and as I said, I'm in deaf education. Kudos to all the staff learning ASL in school. That is something that is near and dear to my heart, that if people are going to be interacting with deaf students, they should at least be able to communicate with them. As we know, or some of us really know, that Malton has a very rich and complex history that we're still working through. One distinction that I want to make about Malton as a designated special ed center, from hearing from the presenters, Lockrantz and Salvin, I heard medical model. From Malton, I heard language model. So therefore, that is the big distinction. Also, Malton is A-G, academic core curriculum, which is different from the more medical model special ed centers. So my question is, why is Malton still considered a special ed center? Because I do know that staffing ratios are different for special education centers and for a school that focuses on A to G with the whole gamut of educational opportunities.
Okay.
The state has Marlton identified as a special education center.
Okay, so maybe we need to look at redesignating it, because if we look at what a special ed center is, Malton, like most deaf ed, it's not a special ed center because we are addressing A to G graduation requirements. It is a bilingual environment. It sounds really rich. I love the fact that sports is being reintroduced. So maybe that's something that we can look into, because one thing I do know, that Malton every year has to fight to keep classes open because of the way it's designated. So Malton also, as you said, catered to the neighborhood students and to the siblings. So it really is a special ed center in a very different way than the other special ed centers. I had something else to say, and I can't think of it right now, but it was, one other thing. I want to give a shout out to the early special ed teachers who used Malton as one of the schools, and they had the preschool program at the campus, so 0 to 3, with the parents coming, doing a bimodal approach to eliminate the language deprivation opportunity that happen too often for our deaf students. So thank you for giving them that space, and thank you for the district for creating a bimodal approach for our kids.
Amy.
Thank you, Amy, but you did bring up about something that we might have to bring up to the state, right? And I'd like to hear more about that through our own governmental relations and Division of Special Ed about what would be the pros and cons of something like that. So thank you for uplifting that. All right, this is the stack that I have. I have Marcia, then Maria, then Kenya, and Christina. Okay, let's go.
So if a community member was interested in enrolling in the ASL classes at Marlton, how do they go about doing that?
That is a very good question that people are asking me. So right now, our classes are just open. So we offer classes Monday and Tuesday from 10 a.m. through 11 a.m. for parents and community. And we have had community members who live in the area come and they sign in, and then they come to the Parent Center, and then they have their classes, and then they leave. So there's no real formal application, because we were just opening up, just to have classes so that we can increase the access for our families. So just contact the school, ask them to find me, and usually, most of the time, I say yes, but if it becomes too arduous, then we may have to put a formal process in place. But right now, it's just whoever is willing.
Thank you.
All right, I think next is Maria, and then Kenya.
Disculpen. Sí, bueno.
Pardon. Yes,
aquí
well,
hablaron acerca
here
del-
you spoke about the hiring of students. So my question is, where can an employer obtain information about the transitional professional services so that a student of special education can obtain this job or employment?
Ok, gracias. Ok, ¿dónde puede un empleador
Where can an employer obtain information about the transitional programs or the professional programs for students of special education so they can obtain this job?
More about the CTC programs in order to recruit some of the students from there.
So one of the things that we do is we connect with our local chamber of commerce. We present and meet with local businesses. We do a lot of cold calling. But if there is in a community an employer that is interested, one of the things that I always articulate to local businesses is the federal government actually offers tax incentives for businesses to hire our population. And we can teach them how to fill out those tax incentive forms, and they can actually fund 40% of the salary for our students entering into those jobs. So for the business, they get a dedicated worker that loves to do the work, and then they also get tax incentives. So the federal government would much rather provide a local business giving purpose to an individual with disability to have a job, go out into the community, be part of the community, instead of funding in other ways. So we meet with our local Chamber of Commerce, we work with them, and for a lot of us will go door to door and into our communities and do cold calls.
Right, I think it was Kenya?
So I understand that LAUSD, CTC, and transition centers offer those vocational strands like culinary arts and product design and auto detailing. Are there ways in which district personnel or anyone who wants to find this information can be permitted to engage in products created or services provided by the students? Because I would love to contribute to that, and I would love to participate with the adult education program.
As a matter of fact, there is. So for those of you that work at Beaudry, you may have seen the sales that we do a couple times a year. I think we did 3 or 4 last year, actually. But so we have 3 this year that are planned, I believe?
Yes.
So we have those in the cafeteria, in the basement area. Those will be, I think they're promoted pretty well. You can tell me, but the other way is if you know there's your local CTC, whether close to home or close to work, you can reach out, and we all have websites. We don't all have all of the products available on websites, but if you give us a call, we can definitely tell you what we have, and some of the services like that we didn't mention that happen though are like even shredding and of course the auto detailing, but lots of different products, and everybody doesn't produce the same thing, so it might even be beneficial to reach out to different sites. We are working on a catalog, by the way, so that's the ultimate goal, to have everything in one catalog to make it easier for you, but I do appreciate that. Thank you.
I was gonna have all these, I'll go ahead. Are you gonna add to what he just said? To what he said? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, we really try to promote the work of our CTC and our students. They make really great things. So if you have an opportunity to purchase from our CTCs or special ed centers, I encourage you. Really great gifts for any occasion. I've purchased a lot here when they come to the school. So I really encourage you to click on their website, and that catalog will be coming out shortly so you guys can see what's available at all of our schools. And the catering as well, too.
I promise I'm not a paid advertiser, but I have purchased a number of plants from the CTCs, and they never die. They do so well. Thanks, guys.
It's all that love they pour into it. That's what it is. All right, Christina?
I feel like everybody asked all the questions that I wanted to ask. And as, like Kenya said, Marcia said, and Maria said, it's like, I work with high school, so I know a student who is in the program, and it would be nice to, be able to at least go and see how they're doing, because, we know the challenges that arise because of their disability, because at the school that I'm in, we have an IDM class, and 2 of our students are at Whitney. So it would be nice, as a paraprofessional who works with these students, be able to get a glimpse of, life after high school. So, and that's why my word was ecstatic, because it's like, we work with them, we know what they're capable, and to see them after high school, it would be, a nice opportunity. So that was more my question, like how can, us employees get involved, because we would be interested, because it's like I said, it's a nice opportunity to be able to see the life after high school. So that was pretty much my question, but everybody asked.
We invite you to come to our tours. So we have tours for all of our feeder schools. One of our big recruitment is we want our students to end up at our CTCs. And so if you are a teacher or a paraprofessional, we offer tours throughout fall and spring. And we love the whole classroom to come. We want parents to come. We want them to start coming at 9th grade, because we really want them to start envisioning the transition to CTC. And sometimes it takes a few years for the parents and the students to feel comfortable, because it's a big transition. They love it once they get there, but sometimes it takes some time. So please come. Our students are so excited to see their old teachers, their old friends when our tours are on our campuses. So we invite you.
Can you introduce yourself? I didn't get neither of your names.
Yes, sorry. My name's Manuela Hernandez, and I'm the proud principal of Perez in the East.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'm Jennifer Hubbard, proud principal of Leachman CTC in the North.
Wonderful, thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, and
or
Board
comments?
Member Gregos, before we go into other questions, since we just had them introduce themselves, I do want to point out that while we have these 5 amazing presenters this afternoon, the rest of our CTC and special education centers are here in the audience to be able to support with questions
Can
as
they
well.
stand up
But if
and
they could also
I
just-
do want you to introduce yourself, please. Apologies, please come and introduce yourself.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Anush Boyajan, and I am the proud principal of Lowman Special Ed Center and CTC.
All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Wellness Wednesday. My name is Natalie Smith, and I am the proud principal of Salvin Special Ed Center.
And good afternoon. My name is Kara Gelfand, proud principal of Lowcrans Special Education Center. Go Zebras.
Go Zebras.
Hello, my name's Tim Sweeney. I am the proud principal of Miller CTC, our first CTC. And if I could just for 1 second, my word today is grateful. I'm grateful to LAUSD for starting the CTCs about 25 years ago. None of this existed, so everything you see today is, you know, in education terms, brand new, and we're thriving. Allowing us to create these novel programs allows us to build, and all the things you've seen already are incredible. And we all can take something from another CTC. We have the freedom to build it, and this school district has been so wonderful in supporting those programs over the last 25 years that no other district anywhere can offer anything like this, so thank you.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. All right, we have a few more speakers. Dr. Rivas and then Ms. Rogers.
Just really quick, just want to also reiterate the wonderful work of our CTCs. My regional office is at Perez, so I've seen firsthand all the wonderful work. Everyone, the whole community inside of Perez is so loving and so supportive. So I have a lot of earrings. I have a lot of T-shirts. I have a lot of the wonderful work that the students at the CTC centers make. They also have a coffee shop, so at Perez, so I get my coffee when I'm there, and earrings and plants, all just wonderful things. And I had an opportunity to also tour with our work-based learning program at Perez, and I was able to visit and just see firsthand the change, and then speaking also to the staff, that they see the change in the students when they get on the bus for the first time, right, independently, or, you know, they're at their job, and you see such, you see the light, you see wonderful, their personhood just feeling so accomplished. And so, yes, so very grateful for the district as well to have these programs, and all of you who do really life-changing work and giving independence and a future and so much more for our students at the CTC centers. So just really quick, I know that you mentioned the vocational strands, but these are just some, right? There's some that are not here. I know there's infant care, right? Because I know we have some of our students who are working in the infant care center, right? So any other areas that you would like to add on the vocational strands that's probably not there that you would like to add?
We have a second half.
Oh, you have a second half, okay.
Okay.
Because we do have some unique.
Yeah, no, I'll wait till the second half because I have more questions, so I don't want to.
I do have two more committee members who have some questions, but we do have the second round of questions. So I'll call on, okay, you can wait, all right. And Tamala, can you wait? You want to go? I can wait. Okay, great. And here's mine for you to keep in your mind for the end. What more can we do? I know we're doing great and we're grateful, but what more can we do? This is your chance. So please, that's not only to the staff, but to parents and students who are here. Thanks.
We're going to answer that one.
Oh, good. Okay, let's go on. Thank you.
All right, so we want to continue our pathway with our students. So we talked about our vocational strands. That is the classroom instruction, and now we're gonna shift into work-based learning. So as students are on their pathway to employment, students get an opportunity to have on-site work experience that is very structured, that is very safe. This might be the first time that our students are learning or experiencing workplace expectations. Was mentioned one of our cafes, right? We all have cafes, so that is one of our work readiness programs. We also have student stores, and so our students are in there, they're learning how to have customer service skills, how to work as a team, how to show up to your assigned work time, right? Be on time. So they're getting some of those work soft skills that we talked about at our campuses. It's different. It is still part of their instructional day, but it feels and looks different because it's very independent. It's very individual based on the student. So we have some pictures. So here's some students in the retail, our culinary arts. Students, again, that are doing retail will go to Costco, do traveling to buy all the merchandise. So they have their inventory list. They're learning how to manage money, and then a few other pictures. Again, as we continue, we really want students that show work readiness to be able to go off-site. We want them to be as independent as possible. And so while they're building this independence, their confidence, and their real work histories, right, as Gavin mentioned, we want them to have a resume when they're leaving us so that the ideal is that they're going to get employed. So our students have partnerships within our local LAUSD schools. We have some pictures. So they're there. They're working in classrooms. They're working in main offices. They're working in parent centers. They help in building and grounds. They do a lot. We also have local business partners where our students can also go and get some of this work readiness off-site. Again, really trying to give them that authentic work experience. We talked about community-based instruction, so learning to travel independently to a work site, navigating the metro, perhaps walking. It really just depends on the student where they may go. They also are learning to communicate with a supervisor. I think all of us, that's a skill, you know, taking feedback, constructive feedback, you know, and taking it, you know, trying to do better, and then again, working as a team. That is a skill that we're really trying to teach our students. So we have pictures, again, of our students out in the field. We have wonderful LAUSD schools that are willing, love to have our students. They call all of us, asking us when are our students going back. They're very excited to have us. And then we all individually build community partners so we can expand the opportunities that our students are able to have. So they're at Walgreens, they're at local other businesses, a party store, cemetery. There's anything we can do to get our students experience.
I get to talk to you about our two programs that are most independent. So CATS program, and I always get asked, what does CATS mean? Is a cat your mascot? No. It's called Center for Advanced Transition Skills, CATS for short. And it's a unique partnership between LAUSD and the Los Angeles Community College District. So we are at select colleges around the Los Angeles County, and we provide instructional support, independent travel from home to the campus and throughout the community to go to work and then to home. And we provide career guidance, work-based learning, and job opportunities to prepare our interns with specialties for the adult world. Our CTC teachers are experts in partnering with the community college staff and collaborating with families, school personnel, employers, and outside agencies to make sure that our interns are able to make decisions and set goals and transition appropriately to life after high school. Our participating interns enroll in college classes as well, and they are supported if needed. Most of our students are using it as an experience to be on the college campus with their peers and be immersed in that life. And also some are getting certificates to work in industries such as child care and so on. Some of them are able to do it and come home with that certificate and be very proud. They are assisted, they have mentors, we're there to support them, and they also go out in the community and work, and they're part of WBL. I forget that I have to do this. We also have Project Search, and I'm going to invite my student, Louise. Can you come up with me? All right. All right. All right. So Louise is a student at Project Search within Hills Kaiser. So Project Search is a program of total workplace immersion with the goal of competitive employment for every graduate and is designed for individuals who have a strong desire and ability to work and perform skills. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. Today's competitive market is very, very hard. It's diverse. It's multifaceted. It's very complex. But we're preparing our students to be able to get jobs with no problem. At the conclusion of the program, graduates have the ability to maintain employment. They have access to supports, and then they will have access to supports for life. The curriculum model is used in 785 sites across 9 countries, and it's successful in supporting individuals with gaining competitive employment, and most of our students are averaging 30 hours a week. And for LUSD, our partnership includes Regional Center, and then we're at the Kaisers and Children's Hospital LA. And they are exposed to about 20 hospital departments, and they rotate throughout the year, and it's the last year with LAUSD, so it's a 1-year program. So Luis here would like to share his experience in Project Search.
Do I take my speech?
You say your speech.
Hello, my name is Luis Ricardo Mendez. At Leachman, I have learned so many important things like showing up for your team, being on time, and do whatever it takes to get the job done right. When I was at the Leachman, I got to work at Grocery Outlet, Martin Pino, and Dearborn Elementary. Now I am a Project Search intern at Kaiser Permanente, Willie Hills. I work in the pharmacy and in the pathology department. My dream one day is to work at Kaiser. Thanks to Leachman for everything.
As he mentioned, he's working in the pharmacy. There's also laboratory, sterile processing, food and nutrition services, oncology, supply chain, internal medicine, and that's just to name a few. So it's pretty complex, and they're doing so great. They learn a lot. And here are some pictures from the students working.
This dance of presenting up here. Okay, so after we give our students some of these work experiences, something that we've noticed that they struggle with is interviewing. And let's be real, we all struggle with interviewing. It's very difficult. So we do host mock interviews. We did host one recently where we had 100 students come and practice their interview skills. We invited different district personnel to come and join us because we really wanted them to have the opportunity to be interviewed by someone they didn't know. It's very different when our school staff is interviewing them versus an unfamiliar face. So we had this mock interview. Our students came prepared. They were professional. They had their questions to ask the interviewer. And then most importantly, they got feedback after their interview to hopefully take with them because we do take our students to job fairs. And so we're really working on this so that we can hopefully line them up employment before they leave us. That is our big goal. So Dr. Rivas was one of our interviewers. And I think it was a huge success. We're going to have another one in spring. I think we'll have a mock interview. So we would enjoy having any of you at our next mock interview.
Okay, so Partnerships for us are very important. The community partnerships play an important role in supporting our school communities. They're crucial for providing access to the community, resources, social interactions, skills development, advocacy, support, employment, and so on. Some of our partnerships are unique, and a few of them are presented here. We have a partnership with UCLA. Leachman's data archiving and preserving historical information. It's about 40 years they're trusting us with of local TV news footage and academic white papers and books. We have New Horizons. It's a travel training program that they are partnering with us and helping to travel train our students. We have One Generation, where interns are preparing meals and delivering them to homebound seniors. So our interns are learning how to give back as well and make those connections, meaningful connections in the communities. So they're used to us helping them, so we want to teach them that you can help others too. We have Alta C. It's a nonprofit organization that focuses on developing blue technology businesses in the Port of Los Angeles. And San Pedro Education Foundation is a nonprofit organization dedicated to the enhancement and advocacy of public schools in San Pedro. And we also have ITS, which is part of LAUSD Giving Back, and that is at Perez. And Miller CTC is proud to announce that they're collaborating with Los Angeles Mission College, and it offers courses in culinary arts. And these classes help the students and interns learn sanitation principles as they apply for jobs that require the Serve Safe certificate in order to handle food. Part of the day is an instructor meets from LA Mission College to instruct the interns, and then our staff will take over from there. At the end of the year, the interns will take the food handler's test and obtain the card, and they can take with them for when they're applying to jobs.
So just to mention the partnership that we have with our LA Unified ITS department. So this new strand or new vocational strand started in August, and the ITS department partnered with Perez to teach our students entry-level skills in repairing Chromebook devices. So our students are disassembling them, they're troubleshooting, they're identifying the components, and they're putting it back together to get the Chromebooks back into student hands. So this is so awesome. It's very new, just started in August, but as you can see, our students are on phase 2, so they are able to take apart the back. Today they learned how to do the screens. So we're very excited to have this partnership, to again teach them another industry standard skill, and just continue to build our vocational strands. So thank you.
So in addition to the work that we do at our schools, we work hard and we play hard. So a lot of our students also have the opportunity to do rec and leisure type activities and explore hobbies and things like that. What we've learned is, since we've been doing this for over 20 years, many of our students would get jobs, they'd come home, get jobs, come home, and that's all they would do. All their coworkers were having baby showers or parties, going out to dinner, and our kids were never included. So what we do is we teach these rec and leisure activities so that they can make connections with their peers out in the communities. So it's not just focused in on work, but it's focused on balance of life. And part of how we collect data, so each year we follow up with our graduates. We will make phone calls. This past year, 75% of our graduates we were able to connect with. Out of all of our graduates, 52% of the responses we got back were students that were either in additional education programs or they were in a employment opportunity program. So it could be a day program where they're learning job skills and leading to employment. It could be that they're independently employed. It could be that they're attending classes at City College. So the validity of our programs speak for themselves. When we look at national averages for employments for individuals with disabilities, currently they're looking at 7%. And LAUSD is truly leading the way beyond what national average can do. So at this time, you've heard from us, but we really want to give opportunity to additional families, students, to tell their story. So I would like Frederick, Noah, Fabian. Then so we'll start off with Frederick Harris.
Hello, my name is Frederick Harris. I am a former student and now employee of Willenberg. I guess how I got the job is kind of interesting. So I actually used to work for a hospital as a dishwasher. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. And can't remember how long, but maybe a week or so, my mom told me that Mr. Gavin actually contacted saying the position at the school that I went to as a custodian. And I thought that, very interesting. I went to the school and I think it would be a cool job there. So I went there, did the training at another school, definitely employed at the school. Honestly, it's a great experience. Kind of messy because, custodians had to do with toilets, all this stuff, but still fun though. Mostly outside because I'm a nature person, so could be outside for the most part. But it's very cool job. My coworkers, aka the custodians, and my plant manager are all great people, lots of fun. And of course, Mr. Gavin is Mary, great principal, vice principal. And also, fortunately, he's not here, but there's another student that went to Willenberg. His name is Freddie. Fortunately, he could, be here today, but he also went to Willenberg. He's also the student you see in the picture. So shout out to him. I don't know if he'll watch this, but yeah, shout out to him. And yeah, that's about it.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Noah, can you introduce yourself? Speak louder. Okay.
Malo.
Yes, okay. I'll speak for him. So his name is Noah Yurgu, and he is a fashion designer and a model. I am going to talk about our experience as LAUSD family. So my name is Fabian Fantu, and I'm a proud mother of this young man, Noah Yurgu, a talented fashion designer. He is a model and a true LAUSD success story. From a young age, Noah has been inspired by colors, art, and a strong sense of style, as you can see. And he began his educational journey with LAUSD at just the age of 3 years old. And he received tremendous services throughout his elementary, middle, and high school, and obviously transition programming, right? Our family is deeply grateful and for the support that we've received over the years for Noah. And I would like to take a moment to talk about the transition program and how important it is for our students. Noah had the opportunity to receive a meaningful educational experience at Willenberg C2C. There he developed valuable skills that have now translated to a really good career for him. And he was in a design strand where he learned how to print on, different textiles and what works on what, color combinations and different skills.
And now he uses those skills to be able to design his wonderful designs. He's currently working on his 6th fashion show. And at any given fashion show, he's dressing about 25 models. He's also inspired a program that is focusing on fashion design and around fashion art and designs for people with developmental disabilities. So all of this work is because of what you do, at the school level, at elementary, middle school, especially our transition programs. So we want to continue to support our transition programs, and it's not only jobs, but they're creating careers. So thank you.
Okay, I'm back. What I do want to do is introduce Liz Flores. She's a parent of one of our third-year students. So this is someone who's in the CTC experience right now.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me. My daughter is Sarah Flores. She is her 3rd year at Miller. She started LAUSD at 3 years old. And after high school, you don't really know what's going to come next, right? And then we walk into Miller, and boy, was her life changed for the better. Didn't know what to expect, but the first year there, she goes into the boutique, and she's learning how to stock shelves. She's learning how to prepare a store. She's learning to vacuum things I didn't necessarily think that she can do at home, and she's doing it. And she's coming home and she's telling me, your windows are dirty. And I'm like, oh, okay, she's learned, she knows. And she's wanting to help at home. And the teacher there, Ms. Vardui, from day one, I mean, these teachers are remarkable. The way they're experts in their field. Whether they were or 10 years ago or not, they are an expert. She knows what she's doing there. And you think, wow, this year 2 can't be any better. And yet year 2, she goes into the Miller Cafe, and they're preparing meals, and they're in the kitchen. And you think, wow, with Miss Laura, it really can't get any better than this, because each teacher is just remarkable. And it's because the leadership they have from Mr. Sweeney. And my daughter, every day, I saw Sweeney today, Mom. Yeah, yes, Sarah, because we're just so grateful, because it's really a school that is run so well. And just listening to Gavin here as well, all of the stories, all of the schools, I had no idea all of these existed till today. And it's incredible. It's incredible the work that LAUSD has for our children, our babies, our adults, who we hope can only continue to thrive through these CTCs. And now year 3, she's in textiles. And in the first week, they're already creating things and they're selling them. And I want to be the first one to go in there and shop. And I want to go to the boutiques and I want to buy their shirts and their keychains and their earrings and the plants. And I just can't say enough good things about not only Miller, but all of the CTCs, all of the special education centers. And I'm so grateful and thankful that LAUSD gives our children these opportunities that I don't believe they would get anywhere else. So thank you, LAUSD, and I just hope that they continue to thrive for the future students and interns that are going to be coming through the district. Thank you.
Hello again. I would like to introduce 2 of our parents, and I think they'll say it much better than I would ever say. Okay. Mrs. Martinez?
¿Listo? Buenas tardes, mi nombre
Good
es
afternoon. My name is Marta Martinez. I'm a mom of a student of special education with severe autism. She's been in Lonem for 16 years, and now they are 19. It's an excellent school. Truly, she has progressed so much thanks to every service in that school. And LAUSD has done a great job sending capable people to assist, because without that, our kids can't progress. If they progress, us parents progress. So us parents, to be prepared, learning every single day, especially our principal. We have an exceptional principal. In the years in Loman, they've done such a great job, and all parents are happy, and we support 100%. It's so flexible. Even though that person doesn't have children, they have such a huge heart, and they hear us parents. And we know it's a big responsibility on their back, with the responsibility of our children, so that they can go forth. So only as parents with children of disabilities know the true concern that we may have for them in their futures. So the day that we're gone, what will happen to them? And we want these schools to keep existing with capable people to help these kids go forth, because we don't want to leave them on the sidelines without any support, so that they can go forth. So we're strong parents, and we have exceptional teams in the schools. And in Loman, truly is a wonderful school, and it's helped my daughter go progress. My daughter had a hardship regarding her mobility, and they assisted her and everybody in the school site. So truly, it's a school that I recommend in the Valley, in San Fernando, in North Hollywood, and I would love for everyone to keep fighting for these schools to keep existing with professionals that are capable to assist, that don't go for a check, but because they have big hearts. Thank you very much, and good job to the team.
And next, I would like to introduce Ms. Olga Castillo.
Hi, my name is Olga Uribe Castillo. I'm so thankful to LA Unified because my daughter Julianne has Down syndrome. We've experienced not being in the LA Unified School District, and what a difference. I had a hard time getting her to school. She dropped to the ground, did not want to go to school. When she moved to Loman, she was just more, her personality just came out. She loved going to school, had perfect attendance, and she's speaking even more. She even had the opportunity to work at Smart and Final, and I only regret that we didn't come to LA Unified School District sooner. I just want to say thank you for these CTC schools. I've seen the big difference. Thank you.
I would like to welcome, I have staff members and student and parent. So, Richie?
Hi, everyone. My name is Richard Salazar. I'm a paraprofessional at Leachman CTC. I am so grateful for the opportunity to speak today about something I'm deeply proud to be a part of. Our students and the incredible programs that make Leachman such a special place. Leachman is more than just a school. It's a community that believes in opportunity, inclusion, and the idea that every student has something to offer. The programs we provide open doors to jobs, to friendships, to independence, and to a sense of belonging that every person deserves. Over time, we get to witness incredible growth. Students come in unsure of what they're capable of, and they leave with so much more confidence, more independence, and a real sense of pride in who they are and what they can do. But the beauty of Leachman is that learning goes both ways. We as staff learn just as much from our students as they from us. They teach us patience, understanding, and the value of celebrating every victory, no matter how small. Our classrooms are hands-on and filled with purpose. Whether students are learning job skills, practicing daily living activities, or building social and communication abilities, Every lesson helps them take one step closer to independence. And just as importantly, our programs give them a safe space to explore who they are, to express themselves, to try new things, and to learn that they can. Thank you.
And we have a student, Luis, and his mom, Rosa.
Hello, my name is Luis Rano. I would like to talk about my school and the classes I've liked and what I plan on doing in my future. The classes I've liked are the film class in my school, the work class in my school, and the garden class in my school. And I plan on being a movie director, like my heroes Quentin Tarantino, Steven Spielberg, and Martin Scorsese. That's pretty much all I have to say.
Good afternoon. My name is Rosa Rano, or best known as Luis's mom. Leachman has been life-changing for Luis, a complete transformation from his confidence to advocating for himself and all-around growth. Luis gets to experience all the different programs and classes that are available. His personal favorite, the film program. He's a human movie encyclopedia. And working in special education takes passion, patience, dedication, empathy, and most important, love. Leachman has made us feel welcome since day one when we came to tour the campus. Their wonderful staff has been a blessing in our lives. There's no doubt that God's plan is perfect. Luis at Leachman, go Lions. Thank you.
And a teacher with Angela.
Hello, everyone. My name is Miss Angela Bispo. I run the culinary arts program at our school at Leachman in Reseda. I was about to introduce our programs, so we already got to know a lot of them. I do want to discuss what my students did today. We had a big event hosting an APIS meeting of about 140 people. And I have a new class this year who don't know anything about being in food prep industry. They're not sure how to offer their services to their family members, and there were a lot of tantrums in the beginning of our school year, including myself. And the one thing that I appreciate about our school, especially from our administration with Ms. Jennifer Hubbard and Mr. Danny Hernandez, is the support that they give us. We learn a lot of soft skills that many of our students may not be able to participate in the community. I think that having those soft skills is really important to get our students out of their shell, to learn what their mode of communication is for the preferred communication with their family members, with our staff members, and with their peers alike. At this point in November, no, actually it's still October because I'm thinking about the whole year and how I've planned everything to the T. But just like every teacher, we don't always get to finish our lesson plans because of behaviors, because of setbacks, maybe some life tragedy that might have to just stay with us for a couple months before we can totally heal. The one thing that I do appreciate about my students is their urgency to communicate their needs. The fact that we are giving them the space to communicate in different modes of verbal communication, gestural communication, sometimes even a facial expression is enough for our students to be seen. So our students were very nervous at the beginning of our APIS catering event. We met a lot of itinerants that may not know our student population. Luckily, our students were able to vocalize what they do. A lot of them will also say things that they don't like, which is fine. We also want to reason why certain services are expected versus what we want to do at home or when we're on our break time. We have to try to make it structural for them so that they know when it's time to play and when it's time for business, and we're still learning that. At the same time, I'm very proud of my students for excelling, and I don't know if they're just afraid of making me upset I don't think I'm the worst teacher on campus. At the same time, the level of firmness and expectation has been met by these students because of the kind of support we have from our school. So please visit our school. We are open for tours during instructional time. You can get your car washed. You can come to our bistro, Leo's Bistro, get a coffee made by our students. You can shop at the Lion's Den or Leo's Locker. And we make LAUSD coffee cake from scratch. Our students are so thrilled to share that with you guys. So thank you very much.
So I started off with asking you to visualize that student. I want to wrap up with that same student. That student and that family has gone through LAUSD, have gone through the CTCs. That student now has earned their first paycheck. That student is graduating with a high school diploma. And at graduation, I've been doing this for 15 years, that parent comes up and says, I never thought that my child would have a path to the future. Thank you. And that's what LAUSD does. We create that path. It might have changed when they got that diagnosis, but we gave it back. And that individual now has a future to be part of their community, to be part of their home. And all of this work is done by these amazing principals, but not just our amazing principals. I have to give a special thank you. My AP is here today. I had surgery last Thursday on my knee. I can't drive, and she helped to get me here, and I can't thank her enough for all that she does. But each one of us has a dedicated assistant principal, administrative team, teachers that come in and do this not for a paycheck, but for the kids, because the smiles and the pride in their eyes are what matters. So the last thing that was asked is, what can everyone do for us? So our programs, they run based on the production that we do. So the superintendent, for instance, has a plan of having green spaces on campus. We have horticulture programs. We cultivate plants all the time. We're doing that for schools. So schools are purchasing for us, from us, instead of going outside. Whenever a school or a department needs swag, look at a CTC first. Come to us, we can meet your needs. If we can't directly, we can find one of the CTCs that can do that. All of the funding that comes through from the purchase of those products goes right back into our programs and supports the development of supplies that we need to keep our programs running, to help support students to go out and get clothing for the interview that they might need. All of the funds, they don't go to a profit, they go back to the kids. And so what can the district do? Support our programs, come to us first. If we can't meet your needs, then go outside. But I can guarantee if we can meet your needs, we'll beat anybody's prices, for sure.
Wow. Can we all just take a breath? Oh my gosh, that was just incredible. So beautiful. I'm so grateful for today's presentation, to hear from the parents, to hear from our students, your dreams, your goals, all the wonderful stuff you're already doing. It's evident that everyone who works at these centers loves the work that they do, and they have a great heart for the students. And like the parents said, we need people with great hearts at these schools. So thank you. We have public comment, and I think we have 11 speakers. So we have 3 people on stack to speak who did not get a chance to share. So I'll give them an opportunity, and then we can go back. So Dr. Rivas, Sharita, Ms. Rogers, and Tamala.
Questions, okay. I have a few, but I'm trying to, okay, so is there a voice, how is student voice integrated into sort of the program designs, like the vocational or And our alumni or current students involved as mentors, advisors, evaluators of the programs, do they come back after they leave the program to provide any feedback?
Well, I would say for the first question, student voice, I know that it's all focused on student interest. So when we develop, or I should say when we do the strand selection each year, all those classes that we talked about, the students choose which ones they want to be in. So it's not us placing them, they're having a say. I know speaking for my own school, we've taken interest surveys for potential new strands that students would be interested in as well. What was the second question? Sorry.
Do alumni come back as mentors? Or?
Yeah. So, and I know Gavin can speak more to that too. But I've had students come back and be like keynote speakers, or we'll do special presentations when they get jobs to share their experience, and just kind of give the rest of the students, opportunity to see someone that they know that has, kind of made it to what they're shooting for. So, and maybe you guys can share more on that.
It's built into the Project Search program too. So the students that had graduated and got a job, they're coming back and they're mentoring during, we call it boot camp for that first summer that they are entering the program. And they will do the assessment with the students, the new students, meet the new students, walk them through the whole selection process, the interview process. And then they're also present at all the events that we have for Project Search.
One last question. Are there any systemic barriers that continue to prevent students from moving from the work experience models into more competitive integrated employment? Or what are the barriers that you see after students leave the program?
That's a really great question. Internally, one of the barriers that we have years ago, as Mr. Harris had talked about, we had several students that were hired in LAUSD. As you know, LAUSD is probably the second largest organization in Los Angeles, but yet we don't hire our students out of the CTCs. And then some of those barriers are dealing with the union contracts and things like that and what obligations. But there are opportunities that we do have that allow our students the opportunity to gain employment. Right now, our students can earn what is called restricted positions. So they could be custodials, they could work in our cafeterias and go through that. They avoid taking the entry-level testing, but because they do that, they're in a restricted position, so they can't move up. And if there are layoffs and cuts, they don't earn any seniorities and things like that. But allowing us to have the opportunity to hire our own students within would be a great advantage for our students.
So finding a career path within with our labor partners, maybe working to find some support for them there. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Right, and it's the test that is, because they don't go through the process of taking a test to enter, that's part of the barrier too?
So because they don't take the test, they're eligible for restricted positions. But in order for a student to obtain a restricted position at this time, I would have to contact a principal at another site and ask them to convert their custodial position to a restricted custodial position, and then they can be hired.
And then they cannot be a union member because of that?
They still can
be. Oh, yeah?
be.
They can be a union member
Yes.
as a restricted employee?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's good to know. That's good. All right.
So I have a restricted program for B&G. I hired a former graduate. And one of the things I'm trying with him is as he learns the job year after year and gets more familiar with the items that will be on the test, we're going to try to take the test and see if we can pass it so that we can move out of the restrictive position into a more normal position. So we're going to try that and see how it works. But he is picking it up, so it might just be a reading barrier. And so maybe we can get accommodations later on for a reader or something. We'll see. We'll explore it as we get closer to him being able to pass that test.
Wonderful. Were you going to say? Okay, I've got Ms. Rogers, Tamala, and Elizabeth, and that Elizabeth will be our last speaker from our team here.
Thank you for sharing. It helps me in my job as my inclusion is with moderate, wait, let me get it right. Students on the exceptional needs strand who are doing the supports in the class, gen ed classroom. So I have actually sent a student to the CATS program, and I have sent a program to the CTC. And so hearing what you're doing is helping me, plus I'm gonna get the training, and I look forward to visiting because I also think that'll support me in individualizing my support as I transition students. To piggyback on the question that was just asked, and I have 3 different questions, what partnerships are you all doing with the regional center to then support some of those transitions and looking at, especially with students, because I'm glad the student mentioned like the film and production, so I know they had a program for students, for people with autism who could then do a directorial program. I do not know if that still exists, but there were a lot of lines that they crossed over, but it also helps them when they transition out of the CTC or CATS program.
Great question. So for all of us, we really focus in on families either reconnecting with the regional center or signing up and doing that initial intake, because the way that our system works is when they graduate from us at age 22, the regional center, as one of my colleagues had talked about, is the agency that steps in for the rest of their life. And the regional center, what they will do is they will provide funding for a job coach. So anytime our student gets a job, the regional center will pay a separate agency to come in and train that student to do that job, and then we'll continue with that. So they'll speak with the managers at a Home Depot if the student's working at Home Depot, and we'll work with that student to make sure that they're doing the job correctly, if they have to alter and change anything. So the critical piece is not just us training and getting the job, but making that connection so that there's an agency supported by regional center to continue that work on for the rest of their life.
Sometimes the hurdle is connecting the parents to the regional center. So what we have done is in the north, we schedule 2 Life After High School fairs. Lowman does it during the fall semester. Either Litchman and Miller, they trade off and they do it in the spring semester. So basically, the regional center brings in their vendors to our site in the afternoon, so the parents have a chance to get out of work, get ready and come back. And they go through each of the vendors and see what services they offer. And they can either make an appointment to go visit the center, or they can actually go in person or come to us and we take them. My parent center director, who's sitting back there, she is wonderful. She takes groups of parents and we visit the facilities that are in the valley. So everybody gets to have a chance to see what's out there, because not every facility offers the same service, such as kiddos with medical needs, they need to have a medical professional on site, for example. In addition to that, we also offer, or we're going to offer, we are working with regional, what's called the mobile service, where regional will bring in their staff to our site and we'll make an appointment with the parents. They come in, maybe they have to reapply and just get more information. So the biggest challenge that we've seen so far is parents connecting with regional. So we're trying to bridge that gap.
When, as everyone was speaking, one of the thoughts that have come to my mind is that Marlton also has Deaf Plus. So we have students, and there's no pathway. There's not a clear, like, or are they going to go to CTC or do they stay at Marlton? So many of our students stay. Some do go to go to other CTCs once they reach that age 18 with an interpreter. But one of the, when you talked about the regional center recently, the regional center has a deaf unit that they have added. Now, how does that fully look? I'm not 100% sure, which creates a barrier. So when you're at a school that has 9 different programs from preschool all the way through 12th grade, including beyond alternate curriculum, it's kind of hard to navigate all those different spaces and understand the dynamics after age 22 and how that pathway for our alternate curriculum students. Our deaf students on core who are graduating with the A through G with the A through G requirements, they have a different, the Department of Rehabilitation kind of supports that. But our Deaf Plus students that are deaf-blind, deaf with autism, cerebral palsy, and all those other different disabilities, that creates another barrier and another challenge, especially when parents, in some cases, don't sign or don't know what the resources are available to them. So I just kind of wanted to add that in as we're talking about Regional Center and, CTC, because that also embodies Marlton's community as well.
I just want to add that when we hold our IEPs, we also invite them. We want to start at age 20, earlier if possible, but a lot of times they'll let us know we'll come a little later when it's closer to them exiting. All of us do student-led IEPs, so we really want our students to advocate, to have self-determination, to really explain what their goals are. And we invite the Regional Center to come because we want them to hear, because they're picking it up after we're done. We all do the resource fairs. We also invite them to do parent trainings. So again, as all that's 4 years of helping prepare our parents, like after LA Unified, you got to make sure you're connected to the Regional Center.
So that can lead into my next question because it was an ASL question. And so I'm advocating for students who have alternative forms of communication, and mainly our Mod Core students who use AAC devices. I have found using ASL and the limited ASL I know to support them in connecting with the language, connecting with the vocabulary, connecting with not just hearing things, but seeing things has been very supportive. So my question is, one, how can we support you in getting connected to a regional center, but also how can we connect teachers who support in my field with learning ASL so they can continue to support. Recently, I had a student whose device went down and they had no form of communication. And so my thing was like, my student needs to be able to say hi, they need to be able to say help, they need to be able to say more, they need to be able to say any basic thing that'll help them connect with speech if something happens to technology. And I am one to believe technology will not always be available. I was shouting paper will be here forever, and my professor yelled at me. But the point is, like, I feel like though it helps the deaf community, it also will help other communities. And so how do we help branch that across and support teachers in using it and utilizing it in their class? I've used it in Korea, teaching Koreans English. So it supports and it helps. But what can we do to make sure everybody, or who, teachers who can learn this language?
That's a very loaded question.
It is.
That is probably bigger than my position.
Well, what if we just even figure out how we can, because your classes was Monday to Tuesday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., and I know I can't go there because I'm working and my supervisor is here, so even if I was to come, he would know. But
So I
even
am
if
the
there's
principal
something
that
after.
offers everyone an opportunity, and they don't have to take their break time to go to the classes. Even our staff can go, and I'm not penalizing them for learning a language that provides access for everyone. Even my staff, the custodians, the bus drivers, we actually do offer it for the bus drivers on Fridays. So we have a special class for bus drivers so that they can communicate with our students. So the bus drivers, we house they're housed on our campus. We have a lot of different agencies. So we have on our campus audiologists, and we have an audiology booth where the community comes in. Everyone from in that region, anyone from downtown all the way closest to the valley can come to Marlton and get an audiology test. We also have transportation on our campus, and we have an infant program. And so families are able to learn ASL. Now, to answer your question, for me, I learned as a young teacher because I was back then it was ID. I don't know, all the acronyms changed, but
Yeah.
25 years ago, before there were CTCs, I learned ASL as a way to communicate with students that had language, weren't able to communicate. I don't know the answer to that question. That would be a Dr. Soto answer, and Dr. Strada and all of the people that, you know, a little more higher than me.
So thank you for that question. We do have a related service department. Last year, they did a presentation on AAC and all the different devices, which you can find on the archive web. But that's something that we'll follow up to see how we can continue to bolster professional development for teachers to be able to access and use technology to support student learning. So definitely something that we'll take back, and we'll circle back on that.
Okay. And then as far as the regional center, you asked that question, how could we connect regional centers? My students are bussed in from all over the district, north, south, east, and west. I have kids that are even coming from Culver City and Compton Unified from different school districts because we are the only school that provides the services for deaf students where they're in class with their peers that are deaf and receiving instruction in their first language. So that is a challenge, connecting with all of the different regional centers because there's not just one, so.
Okay. And then, sorry, my last is, I heard about all the resources everybody has, and they're trying to get it to, you know, schools and trying to, you know, front load for, and I would love a mobile detailing, but that might be too big. But how are we marketing to school? Oh, well, you know, because, you know, I'm just saying, teachers during teacher appreciation would love to have mobile detailing. So if we market to principals, just saying. But how are we marketing the schools? So how are because I haven't heard of schools having like a catalog of saying, you know, even at Christmas or during Mother's Day or, you know, during at least those big holidays where they can give it to the staff and everybody's there on a Tuesday. So if we know, like, we can call you guys out, you know, to do mobile detailing, like, how do we, and I'm at like 6 schools, so I know I could be like, hey, did y'all hear about this? Because, you know, I'll have you at all my schools.
First, Ms. Rogers, thank you, because you do have great questions. Natalie from Salvin, and I just wanted to take a quick notch just to say when it comes to DHH as a special ed center, I also support that program. We do have a DHH 0 to 36 month program on my campus. I am a huge supporter of that component because it does open the world up to other parents and letting them know what kinds of services and supports in schools that LAUSD offers. In regards to communication, it's really important that we start with communication and multimodal communication. So at Salvin, we are in communication with all of our sister and brother schools, and we know where our kids are headed. So we are big on putting those devices, AACs, Big Mac switches, Go Talks. My school is predominantly low verbal, nonverbal. So we are really big on giving student voice. So when you go across the campus, you see a variety of ways that we represent student voice. We are also inviting our students to their IEPs and allowing them the opportunity to shine and show their own voices. So I just want you to know that as a center, we feed into these situations. And in order to get our parents ready for those regional centers and that next step after 22, we are starting at a center. We have one of our regional center meetings happening this Monday, inviting our parents to get started early because that relationship needs to begin prior to getting to a CTC at 18 to 22. It starts right now, developing that communication and that pathway for our students. So we are working in tandem as a special ed cohort, department, family, to make sure that we are wrapping all the way around all of our students, starting very young at pre-K at Marlton, at K for Salvin, and all the way from 22 and above. So we are working together to make sure that one leads into the next and leads into the next. So when you see us standing here, we don't stand here isolated. We are a community, and we are wrapping around the entire child, and we're thinking about now and forever. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. All right. Well, you know, we do have a lot of questions because we're very excited about your presentation and learning more. So we have Tamala and Elizabeth, and I do know that, our meeting is supposed to end at 5:30, and we do have public speakers coming up, so if it's okay with the whole committee, if you need to step away, I understand, but I do want to give space for the last two folks who wanted to ask some questions. So we have Tamala, and then we have Elizabeth, will be our last speaker before we go into public comment.
Hi, thank you. I'm going to be as quick as I can. I just want to say that I have been very privileged to work at Marlton and at CTC West and McBride. I've been at Marlton for about 10 and a half years, so I'm very familiar what happens there. I was privileged last year to work at McBride and CTC West and was absolutely amazed at what I saw. And what it did is it caused me to kind of reflect on my years at Marlton and all the kiddos that would have absolutely benefited, our deaf students that would have benefited from something like that. Listening to the presentations today with the slides of the kids breaking down technology, we had a student that could tear down a laptop and put it back together like you would not believe. And I remember speaking with the both of you about how we can make this happen for our deaf students because they would greatly benefit. One of the reasons that I learned to sign and went to school and got my degree in deaf studies was because when I was a grocery checker, there was a deaf student that was working as a bagger. And I have always been fascinated with the language. And he would talk to me as best he could because I was learning, and it inspired me to go to Pierce. And so I can see our kids doing these things and inspiring other hearing people like myself. And so hopefully there's a way that we can make that happen more now rather than later, because like I said, I've been at Marlton 10 and a half years. I would really love to see our kids 18 plus get involved more with CTC, and I can see them out there. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. And we do communicate about possible students. We started CTC West in 2017, and in our first class, we actually made a specific effort to reach out to Marlton and see if there were any families that were interested in getting on board with this program from the start. And we had, I believe at the highest point, we had 5 students that from Marlton, students that are deaf that needed. We had sign language interpreters, we had instructional aides, DHH, and a couple of assistants that happened to sign that joined our team. And so that's actually been very successful. And we continue to collaborate and try to, keep that going as much as possible. It's always an IEP team decision, of course, like everything else, but we're available. So thank you for that.
All right, and our last speaker or commenter will be Elizabeth, and then we will move to public comment.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I just want to make this really quick. My concern is during the community, for the community-based instruction, how can continued in-person training be ensured for paraprofessionals supporting students at work, at colleges, and in the CBI programs, be able to assist the students, and how can participation be recognized through stipends or advancements for our students?
The training piece, there's ongoing trainings for CBI on a regular basis. So I know for CTC West specifically, anytime we hire a new assistant, we send them to the training. So everybody gets trained on CBI. All of our students participate. Our staff takes them out. I couldn't answer on the stipend. That's a district kind of above my pay grade question. But for sure, the training is there. It's available, and I believe that most of us take full advantage of that and get our staff trained.
All right. Well, thank you all so much. I invite you to please stick around. I would love to take pictures with the whole team, parents and students. Thank you very much. And I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Mr. McLean, and I just want to remind people who are making public comment that we cannot directly respond to your comments, but know that we have staff here who can support with any concerns that you may have, and we are also taking notes, and we could definitely follow up. So, Mr. McLean, can you please open up public comment? Thank you.
Yeah, here we go. There are 15 folks signed up for public comment. I'll call on the folks who are listed in person first, and then we will call on those who are listed as speaking remotely. Let's see, the first person is Jacqueline Casas. Jacqueline Casas, are you here? Come on up. You have 2 minutes to speak once you begin, and then after Jacqueline Casas is Win Martinez. Jackie Casas? Win Martinez? Not here. All right, how about Anita Yusafian? And then after Anita is Elizabeth Flores. Come on down, you have 2 minutes to speak, Ms. Yusafian.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Good evening. It's good to see you. My name's Anita Yusufian Adams. I'm a psychiatric social worker, and this is my start of my 28th year. I'm here to talk to you about Eric's Counseling, educationally related intensive counseling and services, and I have deep concerns regarding the recent mid-semester decision to transition Eric's providers to school-based roles with little notice or clarity. The abruptness of this shift has created significant disruptions, not just for us as providers, but more importantly, for the students, the families, and the schools that we serve. This change was implemented from one day to the next. It leaves students who rely on educationally related intensive counseling and services feeling unimportant and uncertain. Students with this counseling may already be in a fragile position and depend on the consistency and the connection. Being removed from a trusted provider mid-semester breaks that trust, breaks that continuity of care. It sends an unintended but clear message. Their needs are not a priority. Without a clear plan or communication, there's widespread confusion about who will deliver the mandated services these students rely on. As providers, we build strong, trusting, therapeutic relationships with these students and their parents, their families. And we've had to sit with students, some of them in tears, and let them know this news without being able to offer them any answers or reassurances. Watching them process their sudden loss and feeling helpless in that moment has been heartbreaking. The students, the impact of, that's the 2 minutes. The impact of these decisions is felt across all the levels. Students are left without care and consistency that they need. Families are unsure who is supporting their child. Who will I have a relationship with? Schools are left to manage without clear guidance or resources, and providers have been uprooted with little regard to their therapeutic relationships that they've built or the personal sacrifices and professional ones that they've made.
Thank you for your time. Elizabeth Flores. Elizabeth Flores.
Hello, I did speak earlier just as a parent at Miller CTC, and I think this time I can slow myself down a little bit and just reiterate how special the work is that the CTCs are doing. My daughter has become a much more independent young lady. She is a much more confident young lady. She is independent. And I owe that to the district. I owe that to the staff at Miller CTC, the trainings they go through that we were just mentioning. I think it's something I'm grateful for, something maybe other districts don't get to experience it. But just again, reiterate, what a fantastic job everyone's doing here, and I can only hope that the CTCs continue to thrive with the leadership that I see here today. It's a spectacular thing to see as a parent. So just thank you again for your time.
Thank you for your time. Okay, Norma Gonzalez, are you here? Norma Gonzalez? And then after Ms. Gonzalez is David Tokowski. Ms. Gonzalez is going to speak in Spanish, so if you'd like to hear what she's saying in English as she's speaking Spanish, please put your hands up, and we'll get you these translation headsets.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre
Good
es Norma.
afternoon.
Momento,
My
por
name-
favor.
Gracias. Okay, listos, gracias.
Buenas tardes.
Good
Mi nombre es
afternoon. My
Norma
name is Norma
González y soy la
Gonzalez,
madre de
and
un
I am the
estudiante con
mother of a
educación
student
especial.
in
Estoy
special
aquí
education.
y me
I am
gustaría también
here,
dar
and
mi
I would like
palabra,
to
como lo
also
pidió la señora
offer
Carla.
my
Estoy
word like Ms.
sorprendida
Carla
y triste a la
said.
vez.
I'm surprised
Sorprendida
and
porque
sad
como
at the
madre
same
de
time
un
because surprised as a mother of a student with special needs that who is also a parent leader with others who also have the same services with their son. And this information does not arrive. This information, we need it at the school-wide level because there's so many students, very many severe students that are locked in classes and that could benefit from these programs and these services and centers. We want to know how they can be eligible to be in these centers. We want to know where do the funds come from, Mr. Soto, from SELPA, because it's great, but we don't have these presentations at the regional or school-wide level. They talk about the transitions and CTCs very sporadically. We need that information complete because there's many students that are still segregated in schools that look like jails, Ms. Carla, in all the regions that look like jails. Our students should not be in jails. They should be included. The district is handling inclusion, right? So why can't our students be free? It's beautiful seeing these presentations. I'm enchanted. I'm happy because there is inclusion in the district, but the information isn't accessed by the parents. So please pay attention to that because there's funds in SELPA, but we don't know where they're allocated. We don't know which part of SELPA it says that. We don't know where the bylaws are that talk about this. There's many students whose parents have to fight for, and they'd rather send them to non-public schools, knowing even though there are these centers that are so wonderful, there's not going to be funds for our students or these centers. Where is the eligibility for them? How can they be eligible for this? Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Okay, Mr. David Tokowski, and then Martha Martinez, and then Olga Castillo. So come on up, Mr. Tokowski.
Thank you. David Tokowski, former school board member, California Teacher of the Year. Amazing committee today, really exciting team here. The passion and love of kids is so clear. But this continues to be a segregated committee. Okay, that is to say the facilities department doesn't show up, the top brass superintendents don't show up. It's a segregated topic that should be all together. Next, the APEIS, assistant principals, with Donalyn Anton when she was the head of special ed, and myself on the board, we created over 500 APEISs so that every administrator in the district would start as a special ed administrator and learn the ropes and then grow up into the higher. It got cut by this board last year. Number 3, great career pathways. Let's get the unions involved, Member Griego. To hear that, UFCW, the largest private sector, all the markets, HERE, SEIU, and get the Personnel Commission director. That's a strong union team. They can tell you how to help these principals get people in. And finally, some of the stuff I heard, this is a $20 billion organization. It's not even a Fortune 500, it's a Fortune 250 company. This is the district. It has a lot of money, and you will hear in the next weeks here in California, the revenue in Sacramento is massive. The AI stock boom is sending in lots of billions of dollars, and yet we're cutting people. We're telling people to cut 20% of their budget, 30%. The amount of money for last year, 24-25, this year is like $25 billion, $25 billion. The governor would like to hear from a superintendent about what we can do with that money to help special ed. That's government relations, and government relations should be talking bipartisanly to the president, what's his name, Gavin Newsom, Governor, He has ambitions, and special ed is in his family and his priorities. Get your government relation team on that topic and your superintendent. Thank you very much.
Martha.
And fix the fiscal stabilization
Thank
plan.
you for your time.
Thank you for your time.
Martha Martinez, are you here? Marta Martinez. Ms. Martinez is going to speak in Spanish. ¿Usted va a hablar en español? Okay. Ms. Martinez is going to speak in Spanish, so if you'd like to hear what she's saying, please use the translation headsets and put your hands up if you don't have one. Okay, listos, gracias.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon. My name is Marta Martinez once again. I'm a mother with a daughter with special needs. I'm here to express more than anything and to support the mother who spoke about how it's true that we need these CTCs and the information related to it to get to the schools, because there's a lot of parents who don't know about their existence. We need more information in all the schools. As a team, we need to create a plan so that all these benefits that the district offers can be accessed by all the children and none stay behind or by the sidelines. And also more publications or the services that are being worked now, because everyone that came forth are doing an excellent job. All our kids are having progress, and that's what we want as parents of these kids, that they can take care of themselves in the future. So we need to do a little bit more of an extensive communication effort so that we can have more kids that benefit from these services that exist. I'm not sure what plan there is or what can be done, but can we work on this? More propaganda or more communication about the existence of these CTCs and more personnel to assist so that our kids can have success and navigate their lives. It's very hard as a parent and as teachers be working with them, and I thank everybody that's involved in these schools, principals, the employees, because they have a huge heart, and all those that work there, I see that they have that big heart with that loveliness with the kids and the parents, and as parents to have the open doors, are happy to be there, to be heard, and to have a great parent representative, and we want that to go forth. Thank you.
Olga Castillo. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Castillo. So the folks streaming at home, she said, I'm cool, I don't need to go again. And she's in the audience, you just can't hear her. We are not ignoring her. Okay, Elizabeth Hernandez.
Good afternoon. Sorry. Try to fix my language right now. Good afternoon. My name is Elizabeth Hernandez. I'm a parent at Santee High School as well as John Adams. So one of the things I wanted to also say is like, yeah, we need to know about the CTC programs. As a parent who is really involved and is trying to build a chapter with special ed parents who can provide this information, that would be great if, we know more about it so we can guide the parents better, right? We have a chapter with ACE, Alliance of Californians for Community Empowerment, and we've been developing along with Maria Sanchez, who is a parent at Martin, a chapter where we are gathering parents who had kids with special needs, so we can kind of guide them on what schools they can take their kids and their resources, which is really important because Maria Sanchez is not just sitting there because, she's so awesome, but also because she is part of the community. She is a person who has been, gathering. Before she comes to these meetings, we have meetings before that with other parents, so that way she's not just coming to speak only her mind or learn, but also to get the feedback from other parents. And I think that is one of the most important things about organizing outside the schools. And we are always open to bring in new parents who want to be a part of it. And it's really important that we also take into consideration that there is other people who's fighting to bring the police back into our schools. And you guys have to think about that. That is going to take money from special education. So we need to make sure that we keep fighting for our special education resources instead of bringing school police into our schools. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Next, I'll start calling on the folks who are listed as speaking remotely. So Shirley Gruber, please press *6 to unmute yourself, and you'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin. Shirley Gruber. Shirley Gruber, I see you're unmuted. And you're muted again, Ms. Gruber. Please press *6 to unmute yourself. Por favor, oprime estrellita 6 para hablar. Okay, we'll come back to you, Ms. Gruber. You're not coming through. Cheryl Kono, please press *6 to unmute yourself, and you have 2 minutes to speak once you begin. Cheryl Kono.
All right, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
Okay. All right. Good evening. I'm speaking on behalf of students, families, and PSWs. LAUSD has authorized unfair administrative transfers of PSWs from school mental health that are servicing students and families in special education, our most vulnerable student populations. All of the PSWs serving as transitional service facilitators from the early childhood special education program have been forced to leave the program. Risk of IEP noncompliance and abrupt terminations with their students, families, and schools. Many of these PSWs have more than 25 years in this program and in LAUSD. The positions were created due to the special expertise that they have brought to this program. In addition, some of the PSWs in the ERICS, Educational-Related Intensive Counseling Services program, have experienced forced transfers. ERICS is a federally mandated service prescribed through a student's IEP. This educational service supports students who are experiencing the most severe emotional and/or behavioral symptoms. Despite the fact that LAUSD has funds to pay for the unfilled positions through school purchase and BSAP funds, no new applicants are currently being hired. The Suicide Awareness and Prevention Final Revised Resolution approved by the LAUSD board on September 23rd, 25, has been disregarded, and now LAUSD is filling school-based and BSAP PSW positions with these forced administrative transfers. New external candidates are not being allowed to apply to these open PSW positions despite their qualifications that would make them prime candidates. We expect that LAUSD return current PSWs back to their original positions and programs to service the special education students. Second, follow through on their commitment to open the PSW application process now and hire at least 28 or more new PSWs for all school purchase and BSAP positions. And thank you very much, and I look forward to hearing from all of you soon.
Thank you.
And support for students in special education.
Thank you for your time. Cami Lauria, please press *6 to unmute yourself, and you'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin. Cami.
Good afternoon. Our early childhood and K-12 special education has a growing group of employees abruptly reassigned, others displaced, who have devoted years, often decades, of their careers to serving students with unique needs from various populations throughout our district in these proudly held district-fed positions. These professionals, many of them certificated PSWs, titled Transition Service Facilitators, who manage all parts from beginning to end of the IEP experience, have built trust, fostered growth, and provided stability across our SPED programs. They served as liaisons for hundreds, if not thousands, of students combined in our district. Their expertise and strong relationships building skill sets have been the frontline and equitable representation of our district's faith in the SPED world for our families. This large group of suddenly reassigned employees is the introduction for our district's vital special education process. Recently, a large group of these valued employees assigned from their long-held positions. This action was carried out without clear explanation, a positive waiver, or a thoughtful transition planning, nor tailoring anything to the needs of each employee or the student. The manner in which the reassignments occur has left staff, students, and families feeling confused and unsettled, not to mention feeling distrust over the way the district does business to service their children's needs. These are children with disabilities. This situation raises serious legal and ethical questions. Reassigning experienced special education staff without proper justification may violate state and federal education codes, including mandates under the American with Disabilities Act. These laws exist to ensure that students with disabilities receive appropriate, consistent, and equitable services. We remember our district's past challenges with the Chandra Smith degree, consequences of failing to maintain compliance and equitable service delivery. That experience taught us the importance of transparency, adherence to legal mandates, and respect for the rights of students and staff alike. We cannot afford to
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your time. Dr. Rosalind Hicks, I see you're on the line. Dr. Rosalind Hicks, please press *6 to unmute yourself, and you'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Hicks Walker. I think a lot of my sentiment was already expressed by some previous speakers. I'm a parent of Jeremy Walker, who goes to Miller CTC. And I just wanted to briefly state a couple of things and maybe highlight very briefly some other things that may or may not have been emphasized here as I was listening throughout. Our son, Jeremy, and my husband and I, we were very concerned after the 12th grade, after he graduated, that there was going to be some further challenges because he had some work-related skills, interests, and things of that sort that really we hadn't been able to explore. But we were very relieved when we finally were introduced to Miller CTC, and we recognized how they had such a strong focus and highly expertise in their ability to foster his independence, as well as we saw in their other interns, which was very, very impressive. They're exposed to a lot of the variety of the vocational work strands that you shared here. What I wanted to highlight very much so is their leadership in that their leadership to their instructors, to the office staff, were very accessible and they functioned in a very cohesive manner. And that is something that was very, very new to us through Jeremy's K through 12 experience. And surprisingly, also the collaborative spirit that they had with his parents, my husband and I. And that is something that's very key there, is to also remember, although we want them to have independence and they're older, but they still have these guardians and these parents that want to come alongside and understand what's going on a lot of times in the facility, the entities, because he's not someone who is very verbal, but they've been very open and helpful, the staff there, in helping us to learn that and to understand that. But very much so to keep the parents involved. We are thankful for the huge amount of resources that they provide. I'm looking forward to them connecting.
Thank you so much for your
general
time.
CTCs.
Thank you for your time. And let's see, the last caller is Concerned Parent. Please press *6 to unmute yourself, and you'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin. Concerned Parent.
Good afternoon, committee members. Thank you for today's presentations. I want to bring up some concerns regarding what was presented today, and I'd like to start by reminding you that special education is a service, not a place. It is important to make this distinction because, as it was mentioned about connecting IEP students with regional centers, I want to inform you that not every person that has an IEP will be eligible for a regional center. Regional center provides eligibility under 5 categories, as opposed to 13 categories that are eligible for special education. So it's important for you to know that, because not every student will be able to be a regional center client. Now, in terms of how can we do better, how about we raise the bar a little bit? It's sad to hear that we are only placing students with disabilities in jobs such as custodial or food services. We can raise the bar a little bit and have higher expectations. And regarding expectations, we may want to consider making those a little bit higher, because students can achieve more than what you are able to see. Going back to the soft skills that the speaker spoke about, IEPs are for educational academic. So a lot of times these skills are overlooked because we only focus on what students can do academically. Inclusion. How can students in CTCs be included with typical peers? Are they? That's important to consider as well. And I would have liked to see data on how many students are being eligible and placed in CTCs that are in the alt pathway versus students that are in CTCs that are becoming eligible for diplomas. So I hope you take these into consideration. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. And we will turn to Shirley Gruber. If you're still there, Shirley Gruber, please press *6 to unmute yourself, and you have 2 minutes to speak once you begin.
Ok, ¿me escuchan?
Sí, se escucha.
Ok, qué bueno. Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon, members of the committee. My name is Shirley Gruber. I am a mother with a student who has autism in first grade, and I am here with a group called Together for Inclusion. And first, as the same words that Ms. Carla Diego had said, today I feel concerned, and at the same time with this presentation, with hope. First, concerned because I want to start my question with the cuts from the federal government for special education, specifically in the areas to guarantee the compliance with IDEA, especially with students with special needs, and that they receive an education that is public free. And my question for this committee is, what measures or what actions are you taking at the state level to guarantee that these cuts do not affect the compliance with IDEA and with the students, and much less the services that they require in the school environment? We know very well the situations that we have at the district, sometimes the lack of compliance. And my question for the committee is, what measures are you taking about it? What kind of planning in the future will you undertake? Second, with the presentation from today, definitely I feel hopeful with this presentation because I have a student who is 6 years old, but I would like to know and I do recognize all the efforts that the committee and the district is doing to promote these areas, but I do consider it critical how they are having these work opportunities available for our students. And it would be important because for the division that students have specific needs and that they plan it out, and it's just not employment just to clean or to pick up tables. We have to amplify their strengths so that they have other opportunities. Thank you so much for the work, and have a good afternoon.
Thank you for your time. And the last person who listed themselves as a caller is Chanda Smith. I don't have you signed in, but are you in the room, Chanda Smith? No? Okay, that completes comment.
All right, thank you. And I just want to give the mic to two folks in the committee who did not have an opportunity to speak or to ask a question. And I want to honor that because I know you all travel far and prepare for these meetings. And so if it's okay with the committee, I'm going to call on Rabia and Maria, who both had raised their hands and I missed it. So would you like to say a few words? And then Maria, después de ella.
Just briefly, I am quite impressed by the programs that you guys have put together with the CTCs, particularly bringing a level of education, engagement within the community, and really offering an opportunity for these children with special needs to grow up and become contributing citizens of our community and living a life of dignity, because that's really what the heart of all of this is. Thank you for the presentation.
Hola, buenas tardes. Mi
Hi,
nombre
good
es
afternoon.
María.
My name is Maria Sanchez. And how can we implement the programs that we just heard about in the schools? Because for parents to be engaged also, and also have that motivation of to be with the principals also, and to be well informed, because it's not just about saying it's the principals or it's the district. Also, we as parents have the responsibility to ask for those programs in our schools. And I, as a mother who have a student who is deaf, we want to implement those programs in our schools, but we also want parents that are engaged as well. And just like I said, in that word is strength. and fortitude, because strength and unity makes everything, because we can't just leave it up to the district, the work, but we as parents, as a responsible parents, and to do everything with the principals and the school staff, because it is really important, that parent engagement, because I as a parent have 6 years in that school, and it is a school that has benefited my student greatly, which is Marlton School. And really, when I knew that my son was coming with those difficulties, I cried, because I didn't know where to go. What school would he go to? I did not know, but thank God that the regional center referred me to that school, and I am so thankful and so happy with the teachers, with the principal, with the staff that is there. I am truly very happy for my son that has learned, that came to that school. He's doing 5 signs, and now he has more than 5. And now I'm in the classes too, engaged, and that is everything. And well, I'm really happy at that school, and every single parent that wants to go to the classes, they're welcome, because the staff is very attentive. And thank you to the principal as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Those are wonderful words to wrap us up with. I want to thank again everybody here in this committee. I want to thank the audience for coming. I want to thank the presenters, the families for sharing your story. The students, congratulations. You all are amazing, and I want you to know that you are our inspiration. So thank you so much. And the staff, thank you for your words. It is very clear that you do this with lots of love, and we are blessed to have you here with us. Just for everyone who is watching in our audience, know that this committee will be meeting to come up with some recommendations for the district. So everything that is shared at these meetings, we take note of. And we are going to review everything and come up with some recommendations for the district. Because as you know, and as we heard today, it is not enough to just speak, right? We need to fill that with some substance. And a lot of that means funding. And so we want to make sure that whatever we speak here and celebrate, that it is matched with that commitment for funding, because that is important. We know that nothing can exist without that. So thank you again. I hope you have a wonderful evening. I would love to take some pictures with the committee and with our presenters, if you can stay. Thank you so much.